At the turn of the decade, video and still cameras were still heavy and cumbersome. Although digital models already existed, image quality left much to be desired compared to today's standards. Action cameras, those designed to capture moments in motion, were limited, lacking handling, durability, or flexibility. Filming while practicing an extreme sport, for example, was still a difficult task. The equipment was bulky, fragile, and not nearly suitable for use in extreme conditions such as outdoor sports, surfing, or extreme sports. Furthermore, these devices didn't allow for close-up shots, unique perspectives, or innovative angles. And then something revolutionary happened. A simple yet brilliant idea transformed the way we see the world. The breakthrough came with a simple idea, but one that was about to change everything. At a time when technology was on the verge of a major breakthrough, Nick Woodman, a young Californian, saw an opportunity to create something that could overcome all these limitations. Rather than following big brands or traditional models, he wanted to create something accessible, intuitive, and, above all, effective, capturing everyday adventures with the freedom people truly desired. The solution wasn't more technology or more powerful cameras, but something completely different: a small, robust camera capable of adapting to a wide range of scenarios. A compact, robust, high-quality camera capable of capturing the most extreme adventures from a new perspective. Nick realized that the key to capturing the essence of action lay in a simple, yet innovative design. He needed something durable, something that could be mounted anywhere, and most importantly, something small enough not to hinder the user's movements. He knew people needed a camera that could keep up with their intensity without getting in the way. And so the idea was born: a compact yet high-quality camera that could be used to capture moments of adventure in a new way. It wasn't just a camera, it was a way of seeing the world in a new, immersive, and limitless way. This idea was born from the mind of one man, Nick Woodman. But of course, like every great innovation, this idea didn't come out of nowhere. Nick Woodman, a surfing and technology enthusiast, had a clear vision. He wanted to create a tool that would allow extreme sports enthusiasts like himself to capture every movement, every maneuver, and every sensation in a way never before seen. The desire to share the thrills of adventure thus became the fuel for his invention. However, the path would not be easy. Like many visionaries, Nick would face financial challenges, technical difficulties, and even doubt from many of his friends and investors about the potential of his idea. But to understand GoPro's impact, we need to go back in time a bit, to the beginning of Woodman's journey. To understand what made this dream possible, we need to learn a little more about Nick Woodman's journey. From the beginning of his life, he was shaped by a passion for technology and adventure. One way or another, these two forces would drive him over the years and lead him to create a brand that would not only change the camera industry, but also the way the world saw itself through the lens of a GoPro. Nick Woodman was born in 1975 in a small California town known for its stunning landscapes and the innovative spirit that permeates the region. From an early age, Woodman stood out not only for his curiosity, but also for his restless spirit and a genuine fascination with technology. He wasn't the kind of kid who just accepted how things worked. He wanted to understand how they could be improved. This desire for constant improvement was one of the biggest drivers in his life, guiding him on his journey to transform the action camera market. From an early age, Woodman demonstrated a curiosity and passion for technology. Gradually, Nick began exploring the world of engineering and invention. During his childhood and adolescence, he was known for taking apart electronic devices and trying to reconstruct them differently, always seeking ways to improve their design and functionality. This interest in how things worked remained with him throughout his life, and his creative mind quickly began to envision innovations where many saw only limitations, rather than follow the tradition of many of his colleagues, who preferred to take safer paths in more conventional fields. Woodman threw himself into the world of technological possibilities. He was interested not only in understanding the mechanics of devices, but in finding solutions that made things happen more efficiently and creatively. He was not only interested in how things worked, but also in how to improve what already existed. This obsession with improving what already existed led him, soon after his adolescence, to decide that he wanted to pursue a career in technology. Nick always had a make-it-better mentality. He didn't see challenges as insurmountable, but as opportunities for innovation. This vision guided him throughout his academic journey and then into the corporate world, where he began to understand the gaps in industries that were about to undergo a revolution. After graduating from Stanford University with a degree in economics, he stumbled upon an industry that was about to undergo a major transformation: the action camera market. After graduating from Stanford University with a degree in economics, Nick Woodman was ready to enter the business world. The education he received there not only provided a solid foundation for the business world, but also reinforced his belief in the power of innovation. Woodman believed that markets were constantly evolving and that there was always room for new ideas, especially in a world where technological possibilities were endless. It was then that he stumbled upon an industry that, at that moment, was about to be transformed: the action camera market. At a time when most cameras were still large and bulky, and filming on the move was a complicated process, Nick saw a unique opportunity. He realized that while traditional cameras were slow, heavy, and difficult to transport, technology was advancing to a point where it would be possible to create something more portable, more robust, and much more accessible to the general public. This insight didn't come overnight, but rather from a continuous process of observation and analysis. He recognized a gap in the market: people who wanted to capture action moments, such as extreme sports enthusiasts, lacked the ideal tool. The idea of a small, durable, and easy-to-use camera began to grow in Nick Woodman's mind, and this idea would lead him to create something revolutionary: a camera capable of capturing any adventure with complete freedom. Unlike many great entrepreneurs who begin their journeys with large investments or financial backing, Nick Woodman took his first steps toward his GoPro dream in a much simpler way. Instead of having a large sum of money or a network of investors, Woodman had something far more valuable: a clear vision and an immense desire to solve a problem he himself faced, rather than being driven by promises of instant profit or the idea of easy wealth. What truly drove Nick was his personal need to improve a situation in which he found himself constantly frustrated. He wasn't just creating a solution for the market, he was creating something for himself, something that met his own needs and that, he believed, could also be useful to many others. He wanted a way to capture his surfing adventures in a more immersive way. Nick, like many Californians of his generation, was a surfing enthusiast. His days were filled with long sessions in the coastal waves, searching for the perfect balance between adrenaline and tranquility. But there was one question that always bothered him: how to capture the emotions of surfing in a way that conveyed the intensity of the experience. He wanted to record his moments of action in a more immersive way, but the equipment available at the time didn't offer that possibility. Bulky, heavy cameras couldn't capture the feeling of being inside the wave, the look of someone truly experiencing that unique moment. Furthermore, traditional cameras were difficult to handle. They weren't built to withstand the aquatic environment, the intensity of the waves, or the rapid movements required by sports like surfing. Options were limited, and Nick knew that if he didn't find a solution, he and other surf enthusiasts would continue to be unable to record their experiences in a real and authentic way. He was tired of relying on bulky, unwieldy cameras. Woodman was frustrated. He no longer wanted to rely on bulky, expensive, and unwieldy cameras that required complicated setups and weren't suited to capturing fast-paced action. He wanted something simpler, something he could take into the water without fear of breaking, something compact yet rugged enough to withstand the most extreme conditions. It was then, during a surfing trip to Indonesia in 2002, that Woodman had an idea. If he couldn't find a camera that met his needs, he could create one. Like a true inventor, he began thinking of ways to create a camera that was small enough to be easily transported, yet still offered the quality and durability to withstand the extreme conditions of a sport like surfing. With an old 35mm camera and a makeshift plastic case, he began testing his idea. looking for a way to attach the camera to his body and capture moving images at closer range. But it wasn't just about surfing. Nick saw the potential for this in other sports and extreme activities. He knew there was something there, a universal solution for anyone who wanted to capture action-packed moments with freedom. In 2002, Nick Woodman, frustrated with the limitations of traditional cameras in capturing his surfing adventures, decided it was time to take his idea to the next level. He founded GoPro with a single goal: to create a compact, rugged, high-quality camera capable of capturing outdoor adventures. From a unique and immersive perspective, he wanted people, especially extreme sports enthusiasts, to be able to capture every moment of the action like never before with a camera that was small enough to be out of the way and rugged enough to withstand the most demanding environments. Nick knew the key to success was simplifying the process. Available cameras were complicated, expensive, and difficult to use. His goal was to create something anyone could use, no matter how intense their activity. He wanted to give athletes a practical way to capture their experiences firsthand, without the limitations of traditional equipment. His first prototype was a digital camera mounted in a plastic box. The first GoPro prototype wasn't as sophisticated as the models we know today. It was, in fact, a simple digital camera mounted in a plastic case he made himself. The design was rudimentary, but the idea behind it was innovative. The prototype was not only small and durable, but also sought to offer a practical solution for athletes who needed an easy-to-use camera that could be attached to their body or equipment, and that could capture the action in a unique way, without the interference of bulky devices. Despite its simplicity, this first model clearly reflected Nick's vision to create something functional, practical, and affordable. He knew the idea would have to evolve, but he already had a solid foundation, a design that met the need to capture movement in a way that previously seemed impossible. The design was simple, but the goal was clear: to give athletes a practical way to capture their experiences firsthand. The prototype's simple, straightforward design was a defining characteristic. While other cameras of the time attempted to incorporate complex and advanced technologies, Nick focused on a single point: practicality. He knew the product needed to be easy to use, assemble, and transport. The goal wasn't to create the most technologically advanced camera, but rather the most useful for those who wanted to capture action-packed moments with freedom. The idea of capturing the experience first person was at the heart of the GoPro concept. It was a radical idea for the time, but it made perfect sense to someone like Nick, who wanted to feel the adrenaline of his adventures without the limitations of a traditional camera. He knew that by creating a small, durable camera capable of filming in any conditions, he was creating a tool to immortalize the action from a new perspective, the perspective of someone living in the moment. Like many startups, GoPro's early years were challenging. Although the idea was promising and the market need was clear, Woodman lacked a large amount of initial capital to invest in the project. He began his journey with a rudimentary product and a grand vision, but without the financial resources necessary to transform it into a global reality. A lack of funding and adequate infrastructure nearly prevented GoPro from getting off the ground. In the early days, the company operated with limited resources. Woodman worked in a makeshift office, often alone, and lacked the ideal conditions to get his idea off the ground. It was a difficult time, and he couldn't count on the support of major investors or the venture capital that is common for startups. Today, he was essentially alone on this journey, facing the financial risk of funding his own dream. His early years were difficult, and he had to rely on his own savings and the support of angel investors to get GoPro off the ground. Nick didn't give up, though. He had a dream, and that kept him going despite the obstacles. To continue developing GoPro, he used his own savings and turned to friends and family to raise the necessary seed capital. Like many budding entrepreneurs, he made personal sacrifices to make the business viable. Woodman made lifestyle adjustments, cut costs, and threw himself confidently into the process, knowing this was the only way to make his idea a reality. Little by little, angel investor support began to pour in. These investors believed in Nick's vision and the idea of a revolutionary product. But it wasn't easy. Woodman had to convince investors that GoPro wasn't just a camera. It was a game changer in how people captured moments, especially for those seeking extreme adventures. With these small investments, Woodman was able to refine the prototype, expand production, and begin promoting the product. But the road was still not easy. He had to battle established competitors, a lack of brand recognition, and above all, market skepticism. The product was still rudimentary, but he believed there was something revolutionary there. Although the product was still simple and lacked the sophistication of today's cameras, Nick always believed in the GoPro's potential. He knew he was creating something that could change the way people connect with their experiences. The design was basic, but the camera's functionality and ability to capture action in an immersive way were, to him, revolutionary. He believed that if he could overcome the initial challenges and convince people that his camera had a unique purpose, the GoPro would be a success. While others focused on improving traditional cameras and increasing their complexity, Woodman took a different path, simplifying. His vision of creating an accessible and practical product for his target audience was what set him apart, and despite financial difficulties and limited resources, he knew he was on the right track. This confidence in his product and his idea was what kept GoPro alive in its early years. Nick knew that behind every challenge lay an opportunity, a chance to turn his vision into reality. The year 2004 marked a turning point in GoPro's history. After years of hard work and a series of prototypes, Nick Woodman finally found the key to transforming his idea into a viable commercial product. He formed a strategic partnership with a lens manufacturer that gave him access to high-quality components that would allow his camera to be compact, yet capable of capturing high-definition images. This collaboration was what gave GoPro the necessary leap to becoming a consumer product rather than just an experiment. The partnership was crucial because it allowed Woodman to overcome one of the biggest challenges he faced, creating a lens small enough to be incorporated into his camera, yet capable of maintaining the image quality needed to capture the most intense experiences, without compromising sharpness or durability. With the help of this partnership, the GoPro went from being just a brilliant idea to a functional product, ready to enter the market. This camera was a milestone in the personal film industry. The launch of the first commercially available GoPro was undoubtedly a milestone in the personal film industry. Unlike any other camera available at the time, the GoPro introduced a completely innovative approach. Not only was it small and robust, but it also had the ability to be mounted virtually anywhere, making capturing action footage a completely new and immersive experience. While traditional cameras required tripods, heavy mounts, or complex handling to capture videos on the go, the GoPro was designed to be simple and practical. It was a compact camera that could be attached to the body, held in the hand, a surfboard, or even sports equipment without compromising image quality. People could now record their experiences more naturally and without the interference of heavy or bulky equipment. Compact, robust, and with the ability to be attached anywhere, even to the user's body, the GoPro has allowed us to capture action images like never before. The GoPro's greatest innovation wasn't just its compactness, but its versatility. The camera could be attached to a cyclist's helmet, a surfer's surfboard, or even a chest-mounted camera to capture first-person footage of extreme activities. It was built to be used in any environment, withstand extreme conditions, and at the same time, capture quality footage. The rugged, waterproof design made the GoPro the ideal choice for activities like surfing, skiing, mountain biking, and even skydiving. It wasn't just an action camera, but a tool designed to capture the most intense emotions and moments in a way that previously seemed impossible. For people who wanted to capture their adventures without the constraints of heavy cameras or complicated equipment, the GoPro was the answer. The camera provided a new perspective for extreme sports videos, showcasing not just the maneuvers or performance, but the very feeling of the action. With stunning image quality and clarity, even in the most challenging conditions. For the first time, viewers could feel the athlete's adrenaline rush in real time, almost as if they were experiencing it right there with them. With the GoPro now commercially available and improved, the first units began arriving in the hands of consumers. Initially, GoPro's target audience was quite specific: extreme sports enthusiasts and adventurers who wanted to record their experiences with greater freedom and immersion. Athletes who had always felt limited by traditional cameras began to see the value of the GoPro. The camera was compact, durable, and mountable anywhere, offering a new way to capture action moments. Unlike traditional cameras, which were bulky and required complicated setups, the GoPro allowed people to capture spontaneous, high-quality footage. The camera was quickly adopted by sports enthusiasts such as surfing, skiing, mountain biking, skateboarding, and base jumping, among others. It became essential equipment for those who wanted to capture their adrenaline rush without the limitations of large, heavy cameras. Surfing, skiing, mountain biking, and base jumping have become natural testing grounds for GoPro. Extreme sports were the perfect testing ground for GoPro, not only because these disciplines required rugged, high-performance cameras, but also because the extreme sports market was growing rapidly. With its ease of use and ruggedness, GoPro quickly emerged as the best option for those looking to film their adventures and share their skills in a unique way. For surfers, for example, GoPro offered the ability to capture footage from inside the wave, a viewpoint previously impossible to capture. Skiers and snowboarders began using GoPros to film their high-speed descents down the mountains, and mountain bikers began capturing their maneuvers on steep trails. In the case of base jumping, where jumps are made from extremely high places, GoPro allowed jumpers to record the experience from a first-person perspective, putting the viewer right in the heart of the action. With this, GoPro became an ally of adventurers and a symbol of freedom and immersion in the most intense outdoor experiences. The cameras not only withstood extreme conditions, but also allowed users to share their experiences with a new level of detail and emotion, and the captured images began to gain a huge audience on social media. As more and more people began adopting GoPros to document their adventures, the impact on social media was immediate. Videos and photos captured with GoPros began to be shared massively on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. User-generated content quickly spread, and GoPro became a brand associated with authenticity and raw emotion. For the first time, extreme sports enthusiasts no longer needed to rely on large production companies or film crews to capture their adventures. The GoPro became an extension of their own body, empowering users to film their own exploits and share their achievements with the world in real time. The success of first-person footage, recorded directly from the athlete's point of view, revolutionized the type of content people consumed online. With the popularity of GoPro on social media, new influencers and content creators began to emerge, using the camera to document their adventures and reach millions of people. The brand connected with a generation increasingly interested in authentic experiences and sharing their first-person stories. This led to GoPro not only being adopted by professional athletes, but also becoming a tool for anyone looking to capture and share their own life stories. After the introduction of its initial camera, GoPro quickly gained traction. Initially restricted to a niche group of extreme sports enthusiasts, the product quickly spread to a wider consumer base. The small, rugged, high-quality camera captivated not only athletes, but also travelers, amateur filmmakers, and everyday adventurers who wanted to capture their experiences in a whole new way. What began as a tool for extreme sports enthusiasts quickly became a coveted item for anyone interested in capturing life in a more immersive and personal way. This rapid growth was driven by several factors: its innovative design, resistance to harsh conditions, and ease of use earned GoPro a loyal and growing following. The concept of capturing first-person moments from a unique perspective offered a new way to record and share experiences. GoPro wasn't just a camera, it was a window to a new way of seeing the world. The concept of first-person shooting began to attract an increasingly wider consumer base. GoPro's biggest differentiator was its ability to offer a unique perspective. Shooting in first person, from the user's perspective, became a revolutionary concept that quickly captured the attention of a much wider audience. It was no longer just about recording an adventure in a conventional way. It was a way to transport the viewer directly into the action, making them feel the adrenaline, the excitement, and the movement like never before. This first-person concept resonated deeply with a generation that was already increasingly connected and hungry for authentic experiences. Social media began to serve as a megaphone for these experiences. Instead of just watching movies or videos produced by major studios or film crews, people began to see the lives of their friends, influencers, and even professional athletes captured from a completely new and personal perspective. This attracted a consumer base that wanted to be part of this revolution. People looking to immortalize their most intimate and moving moments and share them with the world. And unlike traditional cameras that only captured a slice of the story, GoPro gave users the feeling of being right there in the action. This made GoPro not just a camera, but a passport to adventures and experiences that were previously impossible to capture so authentically. Social media, especially YouTube, has become the perfect platform for sharing videos from the perspective of those experiencing the action. With the rise of social media, GoPro found fertile ground for growth. YouTube, in particular, became the perfect platform to share GoPro videos. The short, immersive, action-packed video format fit perfectly with the video platform, which was already booming at the time. GoPro videos, shot from a first-person perspective, were visually dynamic and captivating, attracting viewers who wanted to feel as if they were actually experiencing the action alongside the protagonists. Furthermore, YouTube helped fuel the rise of niche influencers. Content creators, extreme athletes, and travelers began using GoPro to document their adventures and reach large audiences. Each video shared generated more attention for the brand, and sharing first-person life experiences not only expanded GoPro's consumer base, but also had a new way of consuming content. GoPro was undoubtedly one of the pioneering brands in making user-generated content marketing a mainstream trend. From that point on, people began using GoPro to capture not only extreme sports, but also travel, everyday moments, parties, and celebrations, further expanding its reach. It wasn't just about filming the action, but about creating an emotional connection with the audience. The quality footage, immersive perspective, and ease of use made GoPro the camera of choice for those who wanted to capture life in its most authentic and exciting form. In 2014, GoPro reached a significant milestone in its journey. The brand was now globally recognized, and its name had become synonymous with action cameras and capturing moments. GoPro's impact extended beyond extreme sports. The brand had become an essential part of pop culture, so much so that GoPro itself began to be seen as a lifestyle brand associated with adventure, travel, and authentic experiences. GoPro's explosive growth culminated in its successful stock market debut. This moment was a clear symbol of how much GoPro had transformed from a small startup, born out of the need for a practical camera for extreme sports. It had become a giant in the technology and consumer sectors. GoPro's shares reflected the company's global market share, and its IPO was a major step toward consolidating its presence internationally. The camera, which began as a small project for extreme sports enthusiasts, has become a staple in almost every aspect of daily life. What began as a niche solution for those who practiced sports like surfing, skiing, and mountain biking has transformed into a brand that is now present in virtually every aspect of daily life. GoPro was no longer just an action camera. It became a symbol of freedom and the pursuit of adventure and authentic experiences. Its compact design and ease of use made it the ideal choice not only for athletes, but for anyone looking to capture special moments in their life. The GoPro was now being used in a variety of everyday situations: family trips, parties, amateur sporting events, documenting outdoor activities, and even cooking or DIY videos. The GoPro adapted to all these new areas and, as a result, became an essential accessory for capturing and sharing life. The idea of capturing the first-person experience, something that had previously been a revolutionary concept for athletes, now applied to everyone who wanted to immortalize special moments. In a unique way, GoPro also reinvented itself. as an ideal product for social media influencers and content creators. Platforms like YouTube and Instagram were thriving, and GoPro provided a seamless way to generate engaging, high-quality videos that could be shared with millions of people. This new ecosystem of content creators helped further propel GoPro's popularity, making it a must-have brand for a generation that thrives on sharing their experiences online. The GoPro now became a cultural icon. More than a camera, the GoPro became a cultural icon. It represented a mindset, the pursuit of experiences, the capture of the present moment, the daring to go further. It was present in the hands of tourists exploring new places, families wanting to capture their memories, athletes documenting their accomplishments, and even amateur filmmakers using GoPros to film in ways previously impossible. This transformation, from a niche product to a globally recognized brand integrated into everyday life, reflects not only GoPro's success, but also a shift in how people relate to technology. Instead of just being a tool for professionals or experts, GoPro has become accessible, desired, and used by people of all ages, backgrounds, and interests. Nick Woodman knew that in a competitive and ever-changing market, innovation couldn't just be a phase, it had to be the driving force behind every step GoPro took. He understood that to maintain brand relevance and ensure long-term success, it was essential that the company not only followed trends, but created them. Woodman knew that GoPro couldn't rest on its laurels. It needed to continue evolving, always anticipating consumer needs and surpassing its own previous achievements. With this mindset, Woodman always looked for ways to improve upon what already existed. He wanted GoPro to be more than just an action camera. He wanted it to be a platform that met a range of consumer needs, allowing them to capture the world in unique, exciting, and limitless ways. To achieve this, he made a point of not only releasing new models, but also continuing to add value to his portfolio with continuous improvements. That's why GoPro didn't stop at releasing the original model. While the original GoPro model was an industry milestone, Woodman knew the brand needed to go further to stay ahead of the curve. GoPro has never been a company to sit back. Instead, with each new release, it challenged itself to offer something more immersive, intuitive, and high-quality experience. The action camera market was, and continues to be, highly competitive, with new technologies emerging all the time. Therefore, Woodman dedicated himself to ensuring that GoPro was more than just a popular product. It was a market leader, always ahead of its consumers' expectations. New products have been released over the years, including cameras with higher image quality, water resistance, and features like video stabilization and app control. Over time, GoPro has released several improved versions of its products. Advances in image quality were among the first innovations. As image sensor technology evolved, GoPro cameras offered increasingly higher resolutions, allowing users to capture footage in 4,000 and even 5K. This constant improvement in image quality reflected GoPro's commitment to providing the best possible experience for those who wanted to capture their adventures with the highest clarity and definition. Furthermore, water resistance, already a key feature of the initial models, was improved. GoPro cameras were now not only waterproof but capable of operating at even greater depths, allowing users to capture underwater moments like never before. Surfing, diving, and other water sports, which had previously been natural testing grounds for GoPro, could now be documented with even greater precision and clarity. Video stabilization was another important advancement. GoPro introduced the image stabilization system, a revolutionary feature for compact cameras. This meant that videos captured in motion, such as those taken during extreme sports, no longer suffered from shaking and wobbling, delivering smooth, cinematic footage even in extreme conditions. This feature was a game changer, especially for content creators seeking professional quality productions without the need for heavy, complicated equipment. Finally, app control was an important addition that reflected the digital age GoPro was entering. The GoPro app allowed users to remotely control their cameras, adjust settings, make quick edits, and even share their videos directly to social media. This opened up new possibilities for consumers, giving them even more flexibility and control over how they recorded and shared their adventures. As GoPro continued to gain traction in the action camera market, the company realized it could expand beyond camera models and create a product line that complemented its customers' experience. Nick Woodman's vision has always been to offer not just a device, but a complete platform for capturing action in a variety of situations. Therefore, GoPro quickly diversified its offering, introducing a series of innovative accessories to give users even more flexibility when capturing their adventures. GoPro launched a series of mounts, selfie sticks, image stabilizers, backpacks, and even specialized accessories for sports like surfing and skateboarding. These accessories were designed to facilitate the use of GoPro in a variety of contexts and for different types of activities. With them, users could attach the camera to their bodies, equipment, and even vehicles, creating new perspectives and further expanding the capture possibilities. Furthermore, in 2016, GoPro forayed into a new market segment, drones. The launch of the Karma, a drone designed to be compatible with GoPro cameras, was the company's attempt to take action video capture to a whole new level. The Karma allowed users to film from angles impossible with fixed cameras, while also offering the stability and flexibility needed to capture cinematic aerial footage. The Karma was a natural next step for GoPro, which had already established itself as a leader in action video capture. The launch of the Karma drone, while an ambitious project, also faced technical challenges, particularly with the model's recall due to propulsion system failures. However, the push to enter the drone market reflected GoPro's ongoing pursuit of innovation and expansion of its product portfolio. The brand quickly became synonymous with action, adventure, and thrilling experiences. Narration. Regardless of the challenges GoPro faced with Karma, the brand expansion strategy was successful. In a short time, GoPro established itself as a brand not just for action cameras, but for a way of life. The company became associated with action, adventure, and the pursuit of thrilling experiences in every corner of the world. Whether a surfer searching for the perfect wave, a mountain climber scaling a challenging mountain, or a traveler exploring exotic locations, GoPro became the ideal camera to capture these moments. The brand transcended the product. GoPro became a symbol of freedom, boldness, and adventurous spirit. Consumers weren't just buying a camera, but a tool that would allow them to live and share their adventures with the world. By launching new products and accessories, GoPro ensured its camera was more than a piece of technology. It was an extension of the experience itself. Videos shot with GoPro were shared globally, creating a community of adventurers and explorers, united by a shared passion for capturing the emotion and intensity of the moment. Indeed, GoPro soon became more than just a technology company. It became a cultural icon, associated with thrilling and unique experiences. Every video and image captured with a GoPro was a story of action, emotion, and resilience, and consumers, for the most part, were eager to be a part of that story. GoPro transformed the way people document their lives, becoming synonymous with adventure and exploration at the highest level. Despite its successful trajectory and meteoric growth, GoPro has not been immune to the difficulties that come with the growth of a large company. Like any market leader, the company has faced challenges along its journey, and not all of its projects have been instant successes. In the dynamic world of technology and innovation, where change happens rapidly and competition is always lurking, GoPro has had to deal with moments of turbulence and reassessment. In 2015, GoPro experienced one of the first significant downturns in its history. After years of steady growth and enormous sales success, the company began to feel the effects of market saturation and the expectations that had been set around its products. Sales declined, and the brand began to face a slowdown in popularity, which was exacerbated by increasing competition in the action camera market. Furthermore, as new technologies emerged, GoPro found itself challenged to constantly innovate to maintain its leadership position. In 2015, for example, the company suffered a drop in sales, and the Karma drone, which had high expectations, was withdrawn from circulation due to technical problems. 2015 represented a difficult transition for GoPro. While the brand was still one of the most recognized in the action camera market, sales began to decline. The decline was partly attributed to market saturation and the difficulty of remaining innovative in a competitive industry. Furthermore, consumer expectations were increasingly high, and GoPro found itself challenged to keep up with rapidly changing customer preferences and needs. It was also in 2015 that GoPro launched the Karma, a drone with high hopes of expanding its product line and offering consumers the opportunity to capture aerial footage with the quality GoPro was already known for. The Karma, launched with great fanfare, was initially seen as a natural extension of the company's product line and a way to reinforce its dominance in the action video capture market. However, the Karma didn't receive the expected reception. Shortly after its launch, serious technical issues with the drone emerged. Some Karma models began experiencing propulsion system failures during flight, prompting GoPro to withdraw the product from the market. This recall negatively affected the brand's reputation and added another obstacle to its already difficult financial situation in 2015. Karma represented a major investment for GoPro, and its failure was a severe blow to the company. Not only did it have a significant financial impact, but it also damaged consumer confidence in the brand, which was already experiencing declining sales of its action camera models. For a company accustomed to being seen as synonymous with innovation and quality, this setback was difficult to swallow. After the failure of Karma and declining sales in 2015, GoPro found itself at a critical point in its journey. The company's financial crisis was a direct consequence of slowing sales, the drone's failure, and growing competition in the action camera market. These obstacles forced Nick Woodman and his team to reevaluate their strategy and make difficult decisions about the brand's future. It was a defining moment for GoPro, which had been synonymous with innovation and leadership in the camera market. With declining sales and difficulties sustaining the company's growth, Woodman realized that GoPro could no longer rely exclusively on a single product or market segment. The need to adapt and reinvent itself became clear, and it was then that GoPro began a strategic review that would take the brand on a new path. Woodman, as the company's leader, knew the answer lay not only in improving existing products, but also in rethinking GoPro's mission and values. The company needed to move beyond cameras and drones and reposition itself as a brand that not only provided tools to capture moments, but also created experiences and content that engaged its consumers in new ways. It was at this point that GoPro began to reposition itself, focusing not only on cameras, but also on creating content and experiences that engaged its consumers in new ways. Narration. This is how GoPro began to reposition itself in the market, shifting its approach to becoming not just a product brand, but also an experience brand. Woodman realized that GoPro couldn't just sell action cameras. It needed to become a platform that could connect consumers with the emotion and authenticity the brand has always represented. GoPro began focusing not only on improving the quality of its cameras, but also on creating a content ecosystem where consumers could not only capture, but also share their experiences in unique ways. It was at this point that GoPro began investing more in creating its own content, such as promotional videos, documentaries, and even partnerships with influencers and content creators to engage audiences in new ways. Furthermore, the company began strengthening its social media presence, promoting the idea that GoPro was more than a camera. It was a tool for living and sharing adventures. The brand began encouraging its users to create and share their own content using hashtags like #GoPro and #BAHERO, which generated an engaged and active community. GoPro thus became a platform for content creation rather than just a physical product. Another strategy GoPro adopted was the creation of the GoPro Plus subscription service, offering its users the ability to access cloud storage for their videos and photos, as well as allowing for more affordable equipment replacement. This not only helped the company connect more deeply with its consumers, but also opened up new revenue streams beyond camera sales. Eventually, GoPro began to embrace new types of experiences, like 360-degree cameras, offering its users a way to capture the world in a completely new, immersive way. This not only expanded the market for GoPro, but also allowed it to position itself as a leading brand in the world of video capture. While many companies were still trying to understand the impact of social media, GoPro was ahead of the curve. As platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube began to gain popularity, GoPro recognized the power of social media not only as a marketing tool, but as a vital means of building and engaging a global community. The brand understood that by enabling consumers to connect directly with the brand and with each other, it could build a loyal and passionate fan base who would not only use the products, but also promote them organically. GoPro didn't see social media simply as a channel to sell more cameras, but as a space for its users to express themselves, share their stories, and connect with like-minded individuals. This vision of using social media as a platform to strengthen community was crucial to the brand's exponential growth in the years that followed. They weren't just selling a product, they were fostering a culture of adventure, exploration, and authenticity. Through the hashtag GoPro, the brand encouraged its users to share their videos, creating a huge bank of user-generated content. One of GoPro's smartest strategies was the creation of the #GoPro hashtag. The idea was simple yet revolutionary. Encourage users to share their videos and photos captured with GoPro cameras, creating a vast library of user-generated content. By using the hashtag, anyone with a GoPro could become part of the global community, and their videos and images could be seen by millions of people around the world. This content bank not only increased brand visibility, but also made consumers feel like they were an active part of building GoPro's identity. User-generated content began to be shared by the brand on its own social media channels, and even in its advertising campaigns, demonstrating an authenticity that connected directly with its audience. More than just a product, GoPro became a catalyst for authentic and personal experiences. The hashtag GoPro wasn't just a marketing symbol, but an invitation for anyone, anywhere in the world, to feel part of a community of adventurers, from extreme sports like surfing and skiing to travel, parties, and everyday moments. The hashtag served as a digital meeting place for all kinds of exciting and unique experiences. Content marketing, a trend that would dominate the following years, was being shaped there. This user-generated content movement not only helped GoPro grow, but also shaped one of the biggest marketing trends of the following years: content marketing. GoPro pioneered this model, demonstrating how brands could benefit from creating platforms that encouraged consumers to share their stories and experiences. The focus was no longer just on selling a product, but on creating a narrative around it, on making the consumer the protagonist of the brand. By creating a user-generated content library and leveraging social media to foster this global community, GoPro created an emotional connection with its customers, motivating them not only to buy its cameras but to become brand advocates. They were no longer just consumers, but active participants in the GoPro story, creating and sharing content that was authentic and inspiring. This shift to content marketing was a turning point, not just for GoPro, but for the marketing industry as a whole. The idea that brands could grow and connect more organically with their audiences, rather than relying solely on paid advertising, was something that would shape the future of digital marketing. GoPro showed the world the power of authentic, consumer-generated content, and this model spread to other brands and industries, ushering in a new era of marketing based on community building and shared storytelling. As social media became more sophisticated and popular, GoPro quickly realized the importance of connecting with its consumers in a more direct and personalized way. Instagram, in particular, became a key platform for this strategy. Instagram's rise as a photo and video sharing platform with a highly engaged user base offered GoPro the opportunity to build a more intimate relationship with its community. With the growing popularity of Instagram, GoPro saw a way to integrate its brand into its consumers' lifestyles allowing them to instantly share their experiences with the world. The company encouraged its users to post their GoPro photos and videos using hashtags like #GoPro and #GoProFamily, turning each post into an extension of the brand. This not only increased GoPro's reach, but also helped build a community of loyal followers who saw GoPro not just as a camera, but as an integral part of their lives and adventures. Instagram, with its high-quality images and short videos, became the perfect platform to showcase what GoPro could do. Users and influencers began sharing stunning videos, from extreme adventures to everyday moments, all captured with GoPro. This allowed GoPro to further embed itself in the visual culture that Instagram represented, capitalizing on the growing trend of high-quality visual content, which was increasingly winning over users. It wasn't just a camera, it was an experience. While many brands were simply selling products, GoPro understood that its true value proposition ran deeper. It wasn't just about an action camera. It was about creating a unique experience. Every GoPro was a tool for capturing exciting, authentic moments affordably and with high quality. The brand positioned itself not just as a product, but as an experience enabler, something consumers could take with them on their adventures, on their travels, and even in their daily routines. This focus on experience was one of the key factors that separated GoPro from its competitors. The camera represented more than just a technological gadget. It was a key to experiencing and sharing the emotions of extreme moments. GoPro became a platform for creating memories, with users connecting through the experiences they captured. And as social media increasingly offered a space for the sharing of moments, GoPro became a brand that not only documented the action, but celebrated it. This experience also extended to the way GoPro communicated with its consumers. The brand knew users were looking for more than just a transaction. They wanted to be part of something bigger. GoPro created a sense of belonging, with its campaigns focused on celebrating real adventures and real people. The brand wasn't just for extreme athletes, but for anyone who wanted to capture the thrill of life, whether climbing a mountain, traveling the world, or experiencing everyday life with a more vibrant perspective. This was crucial to maintaining the brand's relevance in an increasingly competitive market. In a highly competitive market, where new technologies and action cameras were constantly being launched, GoPro knew that differentiation was key to maintaining relevance. Simply selling cameras wouldn't be enough to sustain long-term growth. It needed to create a deeper bond with consumers, an emotional connection that went beyond the product. Therefore, GoPro not only used social platforms to promote its camera, but also to promote a way of living, capturing, and sharing moments. This focus on experience and building an engaged community helped the brand stay ahead of the competition by connecting with its consumers. In an authentic and meaningful way, GoPro became more than a camera brand. It became a lifestyle. And that was one of the biggest secrets to its continued success. The ability to not just sell a product, but to sell a way of seeing the world, capturing and sharing the experiences that made life unique and exciting. By leveraging Instagram and other social platforms so effectively, GoPro was able to create a constant presence in the lives of its consumers, becoming a truly indispensable brand in an ever-evolving market. Since its launch, GoPro has been more than just a camera. It has been the key to a revolution in how people document their lives. By creating a compact, durable, and easy-to-use device that can be mounted anywhere, GoPro took adventure filmmaking from the domain of professionals and made it accessible to anyone with an adventurous spirit. What was once a complex and restrictive task was now within everyone's reach, capturing the action in first-person, seamless, and immersive fashion. This transformation in the camera industry has also had a profound impact on how people share their stories. GoPro not only gave consumers a tool to capture their experiences, but also created a platform for people to tell their own stories, whether at the beach, in the mountains, or in their everyday activities. The ability to share videos and photos of authentic, moving moments has taken the concept of capturing the moment to a new level, changing how people connect with their memories and the world around them. With GoPro, real-time recording of adventures and everyday moments became not only possible, but natural. By eliminating the need for heavy, unwieldy equipment, GoPro democratized the process of capturing and sharing experiences. With a simple tap, anyone could now immortalize and share with their friends and followers experiences that would usually have been limited to their own memories. The idea of capturing the moment has become a global culture. Narration. The idea of capturing the moment with GoPro not only changed the camera industry, but also became a global philosophy. In a short time, GoPro helped popularize a new way of seeing the world through the user's eyes. From inside the action camera became a symbol of the search for authentic experiences, where the important thing was not just the destination, but the journey itself. GoPro enabled millions of people to share their own adventures, creating a new type of content, more spontaneous and more connected to reality. The hashtag GoPro was a reflection of this new culture, bringing people together around the world to share their experiences. It became a hallmark of a movement that encouraged individuals to not just observe the world around them, but to experience it and record it so others could feel the same emotion. GoPro not only captured moments, but inspired an entire generation to live in the moment, embrace the unexpected, and show what it truly means to live intensely. And GoPro's impact can be seen not only in the camera market, but also in the evolution of how we consume media. GoPro's impact extended far beyond the camera market. The revolution GoPro ignited shaped the evolution of media consumption in the digital age. Instead of relying on large-scale productions by studios or film crews, user-generated content became the new norm. GoPro helped usher in an era where people were no longer just passive consumers of media, but active content creators, capturing their own lives and experiences and sharing them with a global audience. With the advent of sharing platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook, GoPro enabled the explosion of user-generated content, changing the way people consume and connect with media. No longer did people have to wait for a movie or TV show to see something exciting. Now, people could access authentic videos of adventures and extraordinary moments anytime, directly from their mobile devices. Content marketing, which would become a mainstream trend in the years to come, was shaped there, with users becoming the stars of the stories they shared. GoPro also played a key role in popularizing first-person perspective (POV) content, something that would later expand into 360-degree video production and other forms of immersive content. First-person perspective, a radically different perspective, became one of the most sought-after ways to experience and consume video. This gave rise to a new form of visual storytelling, where the viewer was not just an observer, but felt part of the action. This type of first-person content was a pillar for the growth of platforms like YouTube, where action and adventure video consumption became one of the most popular categories. Today, GoPro maintains its status as an iconic brand that has transcended the camera industry and established itself as a symbol of adventure, freedom, and creativity. Since its launch, it has become more than just an action camera. It has become a platform that represents an audacious lifestyle, seeking unique and thrilling experiences. The brand maintains a deep connection with the idea of exploration, not only in the physical sense, but also in the creative and personal sense. It inspires its users to go further, to push boundaries, and to capture the world in innovative ways. GoPro continues to be synonymous with adventure, but also with freedom, the freedom to live life to the fullest and capture every moment authentically, without the limitations of traditional devices. In a world where personal experiences and memories are so precious, GoPro has empowered millions of people to document their journeys and tell their stories in unique and engaging ways. She inspired a new generation of filmmakers and content creators to document their journeys and explore the boundaries of personal expression. Over the years, GoPro has played a crucial role in transforming the way people create content. The brand not only democratized the filmmaking process, but also inspired a generation of filmmakers and content creators to explore their own narratives in a more personal and authentic way. GoPro pioneered the idea of enabling anyone, regardless of experience or professional training, to create cinematic quality videos, opening doors for new talent around the world. Content creators began using GoPro to document their travels, adventures, and even their daily routines in ways previously unthinkable. The ability to capture first-person footage with stunning image quality gave rise to a new visual aesthetic. This innovation inspired filmmakers and directors to explore new filmmaking styles, creating more immersive and personal visual storytelling. GoPro footage, captured from viewpoints impossible to capture with traditional cameras, has become an essential element in digital content production. Additionally, GoPro has helped fuel vlogging culture, with creators using their cameras to share their lives and experiences on platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. The brand has become an indispensable tool for these emerging filmmakers and influencers who are always looking for a way to connect more deeply with their audiences. Whether capturing their extreme adventures or exploring everyday life, GoPro gives these creators the tools to express their stories with unique authenticity. It's not just about documenting a journey, but about exploring the limits of personal expression. GoPro has opened up a new world of possibilities for filmmakers and content creators, allowing them to capture candid moments, genuine emotions, and unfiltered stories. It has transformed the process of content creation into an accessible and exciting experience where anyone, anywhere in the world, can be a storyteller. Throughout his journey, Nick Woodman never imagined that his simple desire to capture surfing adventures would become a global phenomenon. It all began with the frustration of not being able to adequately capture the intensity and emotion of his own moments in the waves. Existing cameras were large, heavy, and unwieldy, and like many other extreme sports enthusiasts, Nick felt that technology couldn't capture the experience authentically. His first impulse was to create a solution for himself, but what began as a personal project soon blossomed into a revolutionary idea for the world. Rather than simply improving on an existing camera, Woodman sought something that would not only meet his needs, but also open up new possibilities for other adventurers around the world. He wanted people, regardless of skill or experience, to be able to capture their own action moments without losing the essence of the experience. What began as a camera made for surfing gradually took on a deeper purpose, to become a tool for capturing life in an immersive, exciting, and truthful way. GoPro is a symbol of innovation, perseverance, and the relentless pursuit of capturing the impossible. As the GoPro took shape, it became clear that the product wasn't just a camera. It represented something much bigger, the relentless pursuit of capturing the impossible. The idea of capturing first-person, inside the action footage transformed the way we view life and adventure. The GoPro that Woodman conceived wasn't just a tool, but a way to see and experience the world. What makes GoPro so special isn't just its functionality, but the philosophy behind it, the constant pursuit of innovation. From the beginning, Nick Woodman knew that true magic lay in creating something that had never existed before. He wanted to challenge convention and push the boundaries of the action camera market. GoPro was an expression of this mindset, where each new model and each new feature was a way to break technological and physical barriers, reaching new heights in image capture. But beyond innovation, GoPro has also become a symbol of perseverance. Nick Woodman's path has been anything but easy. From financial difficulties at the beginning of his journey to product failures later on, Woodman had to overcome countless obstacles. But it was precisely this perseverance, this determination to keep trying, innovating, and adapting that transformed GoPro into the giant it is today. Each challenge faced along the way only reinforced Woodman's commitment to creating something truly revolutionary and accessible to everyone. Today, GoPro isn't just an action camera, it's become an icon of freedom and innovation. It's a platform for capturing the impossible, whether climbing a mountain, surfing a wave, or even filming everyday moments from a unique perspective. GoPro is more than a product. It's an extension of its users' adventurous spirit, something that connects them to the world in a whole new and exciting way. Despite the rapid evolution of technology and the emergence of new competitors in the action camera market, the legacy of Nick Woodman and GoPro remains unshakable. What began as a simple dream of creating a camera to record personal adventures has become one of the biggest milestones in the technology industry, inspiring millions around the world to live and capture moments with intensity and authenticity. GoPro's success lies not only in its technological innovations, but in the cultural and emotional impact it has made, becoming a symbol of freedom, action, and self-sufficiency. Over the years, GoPro has been joined by a number of other companies and products seeking to capitalize on the growing action camera market. But GoPro remains an icon, with a dedicated fan base that still trusts the brand's legacy. GoPro is no longer just a camera. It represents a mindset, a way of seeing the world. In a competitive market, GoPro continues to be synonymous with adventure, authenticity, and the pursuit of capturing the impossible, making it unmatched even among its competitors. The action camera has become an extension of our own desire to live intensely and share life's purest emotions. In an increasingly connected world, GoPro has become much more than a technology product. It has become an extension of the human desire to live intensely and share pure, real moments. For many people, GoPro is not just a camera, but a tool that enables the capture of experiences that would otherwise be fleeting. By enabling anyone, anywhere to capture moving, authentic moments affordably and in high quality, GoPro has become an essential part of how we live and share our lives. It has made it possible to capture and share moments of action and emotion, but also of introspection and personal discovery. GoPro doesn't just capture an action, it captures the feeling, energy, and authenticity of those moments. Whether climbing a mountain, surfing a wave, or even just living everyday life, GoPro has transformed the way we see the world around us. It has taught us that the simplest experiences, when lived with intensity and authenticity, can be as powerful and meaningful as the greatest adventures. GoPro's impact goes beyond the images, as it has taught us the importance of capturing authentic moments, no matter where or how. GoPro's impact isn't limited to the footage it captures, but also to the philosophy it brings with it. The importance of capturing the authenticity of moments. In a world saturated with polished images and scripted scenes, GoPro excelled by enabling anyone, regardless of skill or experience, to capture real, raw, and unfiltered moments. GoPro taught that no matter where or how, what truly matters is the truth of the experience, the genuine emotion behind every action, and the beauty of spontaneity. The search for authenticity is reflected in a generation that values experiences more than possessions. People are no longer interested in just pretty images, but in genuine stories in which they see themselves reflected. GoPro has helped drive this paradigm shift, showing that it's not just the great adventures that deserve to be captured, but also the everyday moments that, when seen from the right perspective, become incredibly valuable. Action cameras aren't just about recording, but about truly living and, in doing so, creating something meaningful for ourselves and others. The spirit of GoPro, which began with a simple desire to capture the intensity of life, continues to resonate with millions of people around the world. As new generations embrace the brand's philosophy, it becomes more than just a tool for capturing moments. It transforms into a constant reminder that life is meant to be lived to the fullest. GoPro doesn't just document adventures, it inspires people to go further, to challenge themselves, and to pursue new experiences with the same intensity with which they capture the most exciting moments. What GoPro represents goes beyond its technology or design. It symbolizes a mindset, an approach to life, a mindset that values exploration and discovery, that invites us to look at the world with curiosity and boldness. The brand has the power to inspire its users to push their own limits, whether by tackling the highest mountain or simply venturing down a new path, unafraid to experience the unknown. In an age where we're constantly connected and immersed in our routines, GoPro reminds us to pause and truly live in the moment, not just capture life, but be present in it, making the most of every opportunity to experience it. Whether it's an epic trip or everyday life, its message is clear: live intensely, explore without limits, and above all, capture and share the moments that make life unique. GoPro isn't just an action camera, it's a call to adventure, a way to connect with the world and ourselves. Generations that grew up with GoPro don't just capture images, they live with more purpose, more emotion, and more gratitude for each moment. GoPro teaches us that life isn't something to be watched from afar, but something to be experienced, documented, and shared with the greatest intensity possible. And so, the GoPro legacy lives on, empowering every new adventurer to take the next step on their journey with courage, authenticity, and a willingness to live each day as if it were their last. By inspiring everyone to see the world through a lens of pure possibility and emotion, GoPro continues to be a tool not just for capture, but for transformation, a transformation that reminds us that the greatest adventure we can experience is life itself.